Hi everybody, Jillian here for Illustrated Faith's Print and Pray Shop, and today I'm sharing a new Bible journaling process video using some really fun a la carte items from the Illustrated Faith shop and the new Home and Haven Print and Pray release from Sarah Gleason. I'm going to give you a quick look at it today, and then we'll go ahead and cut it up and use it in my Bible. So as you can see, Sarah's release has some really beautiful autumnal colors, lots of great ephemera, and then this is the Home and Haven Alpha. It comes in both a black and white version and a color version, and I'm going to use both sets for my page today. So I was thinking about how I wanted to use this, and I came up with this sketch. I didn't have a pen or paper with me at the time, so I just did a little drawing on my phone and wanted to show you here in case you've never used a sketch for Bible journaling before. I like to use sketches sometimes for when I'm just creatively uninspired. Looking at someone else's sketch for a scrapbook page will give me a great jumping off point. But here I had an idea, jotted it down, and what I like about this is that you can use it either in your journaling Bible or in a traveler's notebook or whatever. So feel free to borrow this one if you are looking for just like a creative jumping off point. And it especially works well with Sarah's Home and Haven set. I really liked all of these cards that she included, and so I wanted to use as many as I possibly could on my page. So I'm using my paper trimmer to get those trimmed down. Of course, you could just use your scissors, but how cute, like little paint swatches and fun different patterns. So now that I have those cut out, I'm going to look at the rest of the ephemera and see what else I want to use. I know that I want to use this little bit that says home, and then I'll go ahead and grab my circle punch to cut out these two patterned circles. This is a 1.5 inch punch, and it nearly got all of it. Now that I have all of my pieces cut out, I'm going to determine where I want to journal in my Bible. I usually have this figured out when I sit down to record a video, but there were just so many great verses to choose from. Like this one, 1 Corinthians 2:9, which says, "But as it is written, what no eye has seen, nor ear heard, nor the heart of man imagined, what God has prepared for those who love him." I also thought about choosing Hebrews 13:8, which talks about how we are looking towards a city that lasts forever, a home that lasts forever. But ultimately, I really wanted to use a particular title, and I ended up in Psalm 91, verses 1 and 2, which says, "He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust." I'm going to use the Home and Haven alphabets, cut those out to spell out the word Haven, and then put that across the top of my journaling cards just like I had in my little sketch. The Lord has most certainly been my haven lately, as we still are just going through some rough times, but He is our refuge and our fortress. He's our hiding place. He is sure and secure, and His kingdom is unshakable, and I just keep running back and back over and over again to that truth. I'm so grateful for Him and for His availability and His nearness and His love, His faithfulness. So now that I have the big pieces down on my page, I'm going to move them and start working on my background. So you saw me take a picture there on my phone so I don't forget where everything currently is. I'm going to use these Lauren Abstract stamps. They came with the Draw Near devotional kit, which is still available, but they're now available a la carte in the Illustrated Faith shop, along with this mixed media tissue paper pack. Both go really well with Sarah's Print and Pray set, and so I wanted to show you how I'm going to incorporate them here. Instead of using traditional ink on these stamps, I thought it would be fun to make it look a little more messy, so I'm using a couple of Faber-Castell brush pens, not so successfully, but that's okay. The darker color up top is called Green Gold, and then this skinny little marker that I was using that's actually kind of drying out is called Cinnamon. So those are the two that I used, coordinate pretty well with this set, I guess. And then I'm using a Studio Calico dye ink. I think it's called Pink Lemonade for some additional stamping. So yeah, now that my background is done so far, I'm going to go ahead and tape things down very carefully, get my title down here, and then move on. So I'm going to tear a little bit of this tissue and layer it underneath the cards. I had bigger plans for this, like cutting out shapes and things like that, but I wanted to have enough room to write a prayer on the bottom, so I held back a little bit. Next, I'll add some more bits from Sarah's set. One of the things that I love about Sarah's print and pray sets is all the variety of elements that she includes. There are so many like little bits that you just can keep adding and adding and adding, and it's difficult to, reach a stopping point because there are so many cute pieces, like this little asterisk that came with the Home and Haven Alpha, and then word fetty that just goes along so perfectly with the verses that she points us to, so I'm a big fan. I'm layering a little bit here with some of those half circles and some of this older black ray washi tape. It's one of my favorites. And I wanted to use a little bit of word fetty, but I ran out of room on the right side. So I decided to just bring it over to the margin in the left next to the scripture and kind of mirroring some of the treatment on the right, using that same washi, the stamp set, a piece of word fetty, and then underlining my verse, Psalm 91 verse 2, and then just writing a quick prayer here on the bottom. I still want a little something probably towards the bottom, maybe over here on the left, to balance out what's kind of on the top right. So I'll use a little bit more washi tape. I'll try another stamp, cut down this card because I just love the colors that Sarah used and want to bring some more of those to the bottom. So just like another little cluster of layers. Because I love a good cross-reference, I'm just going to cut out one of the additional verses that Sarah points us to, Hebrews 13:8, and I'll layer that on top of this little card that I cut down. And then add this teeny tiny heart next to the word home. And then I will go ahead and use a date stamp to top off my page. And that's going to do it. So I've got a couple of close-ups at all of these gorgeous layers. I feel like Sarah totally did all of the heavy lifting with these beautiful printables, and I just got to tape them down in my interleaved journaling Bible. So anyway, all of the items that I used I will have linked down in the video description below, including the Draw Near devotional kit and the Home and Haven printables from the Print and Pray shop. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you soon.